Namaste and welcome everyone. According to the Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts report on cultural mapping of India, due to rapid change in lifestyle, aging, and negligence, the vast repertoire of knowledge and wisdom that sustained and nurtured the Indian handicraft community is fast disappearing. Obviously then, the clarion call is for us to take a serious look at our crafts culture. With more than 3,000 craft forms, we are sitting on an untapped gold mine. With the right support and a conducive business environment, the Indian craft sector has the scope to become $1 billion marketplace across the globe, exemplifying all that is best about Made in India. Our speakers today, each one a doer in promoting and marketing our craft, will take us through what is being done and what more needs to be done. I invite Usharani Manne, Chairperson Flow Hyderabad, to light the auspicious lamp and deliver her welcome address before we move on to this afternoon's conversation.
Eminent guests, Shiva Devi Reddy, Sudharani, the Dhanalakota family, fellow chairpersons, past chairs, my dear Flow members and viewers. Namaste. The beauty of the Indian crafts is much deeper than aesthetics. It is its close connection with our hyper-local cultures, with sustaining community traditions, with reflecting the ethos of everyday life in our heartlands. The vast variety of craft forms and unique artisanal skills have led to a continuous increase in our handicraft exports. India explored handicrafts worth over $120 128 billion Indian rupees in fiscal year 2019, making a significant contribution to the national and state exchequer. As one of the largest employment generators after agriculture, the handicraft sector is a key means of livelihood for India's rural and urban population. What particularly interests us at Flow is that close to 50% of the workforce in this sector is women, with the potential to absorb many, many more. Surviving on self-sustaining business models, with craftspeople continuing to use nature-based raw materials, the sector has also been the pioneer of inclusion and environment-friendly practices in a true sense. Today's conversation will center around why, despite their obvious contribution to the country's growth, many of our crafts are fading away, and how a concerted effort by government, organizations, and individuals can ensure that our rich heritage can be made relevant enough for future generations to depend upon. I'm grateful to our speakers today for so graciously obliging our request to share their stories, learnings, and observations on the Indian handicraft industry. Shiva Devireddy, through his e-commerce platform, Gokur, has pioneered easy and transparent sourcing of Indian weaves and crafts from across the country. Sudha Rani's Abhihara social enterprise has been a key driver of change in the handloom and handicrafts sectors of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh states. Sai Kiran Dhanalakota is a fourth generation Cheryal artist who is giving a new lease of life to this vanishing art form by adapting to changing lifestyle preferences and adopting new marketing techniques. Thank you all once again, and I'm particularly looking forward to take back a lot of meaningful learning about something I'm deeply passionate about, the survival and revival of the Indian handicraft sector. Over to Priya to take the session forward. Thank you.
Thank you. We would like a couple of minutes now to introduce and honor our speakers today. Can we have the slides, please? The felicitation slides. Thank you. I now request Shiva Devireddy to initiate the second episode of the Handmade Life series of Flow Hyderabad, Survival and Revival of Indian Handicrafts. Over to you, Shiva Garu.
Thank you, Priya, and thanks Flow Hyderabad for this wonderful opportunity. This topic is of utmost relevance today than ever before, as we are facing this global pandemic where almost every country is reeling under this crisis. The question of life and also livelihoods becomes much more important today. India has been an agrarian community, an agrarian economy for a long time, and even today I think it's the largest form of livelihood. But craft comes second to agriculture in India, where it provides livelihood to millions of people. Though officially the number stands at 10 million artisans, weavers and artisans in this country, Unofficially, the number could be much higher. Some experts quote it as 50 million, some experts quote it as over 100 million, because craft is a form of life or a way of life in India. And especially if you go to certain parts of the country like Northeast, you will find a loom in every house. And as per their culture, almost everybody used to weave their own towels, weave their own gamchas. But now I think some of them still continue the domestic production, but some of them also do commercial production of weaving in different parts of the country. The challenge that the craft sector is facing today, as our Honorable Chairperson has mentioned, though it's such an important part of the economy, there are many crafts which are actually ceasing to exist or slowly, vanishing in this process of survival. At the same time, though we have been supporting crafts and there have been so many concerted efforts to support crafts and handlooms of India, we have more than 60% of artisans are still earning less than 5,000 rupees a month. So in many cases, that's lower than what we call as the minimum wage that you would typically earn if you do manual labor. So on one side, we are talking about providing livelihoods. On the other side, we are talking about a dignified life to the artisan. On one side, we are talking about traditions which are important for us, and craft has been part of our culture and tradition for thousands of years. I think some of you would be familiar that Indian textiles have been found in the tombs of Egypt thousands of years ago, and Indian textiles used to be traded with gold, for a long period of time. And textile is one of the greatest, I would say, product of India. Today, which is in many cases, these traditional textiles are really out for struggling for their survival. So on one side, we have traditions. On other side, we are talking about contemporary, right? How do we make these products contemporary, and how do we make them more relevant today than ever before? Indian craft has a huge market globally. I think the market size is estimated to be over $7 billion. And there is a growing global market for Indian crafts across the world. So in this current context of life and livelihoods, of traditions and contemporary, local and global markets, I think this is a very apt session for us, all of us, to discuss and deliberate, especially thought leaders of FICCI Flow Hyderabad, to contemplate on how we can support the crafting communities going forward. So I am very honored to have a very esteemed panel of speakers with me today. We have a dear friend, Sudha, CEO of Abhihara, with us. And we also have Sai Kiran, upcoming, I would say, one of the star artists of Telangana with us today, a serial artist of Telangana with us today. So let me just start with a quick question to Sudha. Sudha, you have been an inspiration for many. You are a very successful social entrepreneur yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about the story of Abhihara, how it came to existence, and how you are supporting the artisans currently that you're working with both in Telangana and
Andhra? Thank you, Shiva and FICCI Flow. I'm extremely honored to be here today. Abhihara has embarked on a bold and an ambitious journey, I must say, of connecting primary women producers in cotton textile supply chain, which is like continuing on the legacy of Oxfam's initiative, where I worked for a considerable period. Here at Abhihara, we work on, with organic cotton growers, handloom weavers, garment makers, and craft artisans. Our agenda is to maximize returns to each producer, and while doing so, to reduce as many intermediaries as possible. We focus on building the skills of women in design and product development, which has traditionally been a male domain area. Some of the men, as we know, have been migrating to other professions, and we understand that it is extremely important to build on the capacities of women if we want to sustain these crafts and handlooms. We've been encouraging women to sit on the loom actually and weave, because most of the times they do pre-loom work, which often gets subsumed as family labor with meager wages. As our chairperson Usha Rani just mentioned, women's work tend to get unrecognized. So Abhihara has been working towards that. So this has been very important to get identity to women as weavers and artisans, not just to access government schemes and entitlements, but also to build in a sense of ownership and pride. So Microsoft's Reweave initiative and UNDP's Disha has helped us in digital empowerment of weavers for design development and market access, and to also collectivize them to optimize on production and sale. COVID has severely impacted the weavers and artisans, and we could quickly mobilize support thanks to our humanitarian work experience and support of handloom lovers. So we organized ration supply to nearly 2,000 weavers in Telangana, that is to 1/10 of the weavers, in partnership with the Padmasali Mission and others. And medicines to weavers were given by Dr. Reddy's and Mrs. Banti Bajaj and Mihika Bajaj. So we organized even a solidarity sale of Ikat and Narayanpet cotton saris to ensure that the work continues and weavers and artisans earn fair wages even during these turbulent times, I must say. We have also made them adapt to the new consumption that is emerging, especially the home furnishings, bed and table linen, masks and towels and kaftans and lungis. So we have also recently developed a mobile app called Alambana, which means support in Telugu, with the support of UNDP under Restoring Livelihood Project that was launched on 7th August, which is the 6th National Handloom Day by our Honorable Minister of Handlooms, Mr. K.T. Ramarao Garu. So this app houses information on government schemes and social security measures, new opportunities, and also online marketing facilities with players like Amazon, Flipkart, GoCop, etc. to help weavers and artisans tide over this crisis. So this is in short, Shiva, what Abhihara has been trying to help and enable weavers and artisans in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh.
That's wonderful, Sudha.
Thank you, Sudha. That's really wonderful. And thank you, Siva Garu. I'm really happy about this interaction today. And further to this, I would like to know from you, as you just briefed us, handicrafts is a relatively untapped sector in India. Tell us about how and why you came up with the idea of Goku. Can you take us through the journey from inception to till date?
Sure, absolutely. That's my pleasure. And I think just to briefly introduce all of you, I started my career in the Bay Area in the year 2000. This was the dot-com rush of the technology revolution, which started off in 99-2000. So I started off my career with a Hewlett-Packard startup there called Exemplary. We were building a B2B marketplace for semiconductor industry, and this was to connect the manufacturers in China and Taiwan with the equipment, original equipment makers in North America, in US and Canada. So yeah, I think this was my first job. It was a very interesting experience at the Hewlett-Packard startup. I then moved on to Accenture for as a director of innovation. I was with Accenture for almost 9 years. All along, what I always felt is that, why can't we use technology to really solve some, pressing problems in India, in our own country? And something which is very close to my heart, both weavers and farmers have been very close to my heart, having spent a lot of time in my grandparents' village as we were growing up. What I always felt is that, the challenge that the artisans were facing, and especially artisans in clusters that we have seen as we were growing up in Guntur and in neighboring districts, I think the market linkage has been the biggest challenge that the artisans were facing. They had the skills, they had very beautiful products that they were producing, but they were not able to really sell the products at the right price in the market. And this is the problem that that stuck me. And the problem was very simple. We are having the skills, we are having these beautiful textile traditions. how can we, connect these artisans, groups, and even small master weavers or entrepreneurs, how can we connect them with better markets, both in India as well as outside India? So that gave birth to GoCoop, my second child. My first child is Aditya. My second child is GoCoop. So GoCoop basically is a platform, online platform, which connects artisans, small groups of artisans. Could be a cooperative, could be a master weaver, could be even an individual artisan. Through the online platform, it connects them to consumers as well as buyers across the world. It's a very simple concept. And I must say it has been a very interesting journey. I had no experience in this sector. I had no experience to textiles or handicrafts or handlooms. I had no experience in working in cooperatives. I started my journey early 2012. And very interestingly, we won the FICCI India Innovation contest in 2012. This was, I think, the 7th or 6th India Innovation Program. And then we actually launched the platform with APCO. APCO was the first cooperative we started working with in 2013. The chief secretary of the combined state actually launched this initiative in 2013 in Hyderabad. And then I think it's been a very interesting journey. Today we connect more than 350 artisan groups, cooperatives across 70 clusters from 22 states, across the length and breadth of the country, all the way from artisans in Kashmir to cooperatives in Tamil Nadu, artisans in Kutch, Gujarat, on the western part of the country, to artisans in Assam, artisan cooperatives, women cooperatives in Assam and in Manipur. So it's been a great journey across the length and breadth of the country. It's been very fortunate for me to really get that opportunity to really travel across these beautiful clusters, meet people, understand the beautiful textile traditions we have. And what's also been very interesting is we've been able to really take these products to both our Indian diaspora across the world and also to consumers, designers and brands, international consumers, designers and brands. It gives us a lot of pleasure when we see an order. For example, very recently we got an order for a Baluchari sari from a group in West Bengal. This was a 1,40,000 rupee sari, which was ordered by a customer from Ontario, Canada. So artisan directly selling a 1,40,000 rupee sari to a customer in Canada through GoCoop. So this has been this is what makes us very happy, that, we are able to break the barriers between artisan groups, and we are able to directly connect with them, with consumers, not only in India, but outside India. So this is just one example, but there are many such interesting examples. We are working with a school project in Australia, where Australian public school system, they are looking at introducing craft. And they have reached out to us to introduce 3 to 4 crafts as small products of craft that can be understood by the students in these Australian schools, and also help these students to create market for these products in Australia. So it's a small pilot project that we have started with some schools in Australia through another startup in Australia. And similarly, we've been working with various fashion brands and designers like Anita Dongre. We work with Raymond. We work with international fashion brand called Country Road in Australia. So multiple fair trade organizations across the world. So it's been a very interesting journey to see GoCoop take these Indian ethnic traditional products to consumers and buyers across the world. Very interesting part. Not to also, just to let you know that, this has been widely recognized by Government of India. We won the first national award in 2016. GoCoop was the first company to be showcased by Google CEO Sundar Pichai at Google Unlocked in 2017. We were nominated as a champion of change by the Honorable Prime Minister and Niti Aayog in 2017. And GoCoop is, by the way, a Harvard Business Case Study, which is published in 2018. And I think, it's a small initiative. We are still, I would say, learning the hooks of this trade. but we are very happy and fortunate to got the recognition and support, not only from the country, but both the state and the central government.
That's great, and I mean, what an interesting journey it is, from software to soft power.
Yeah.
You have literally changed the way the handicrafts were being sold by using the power of the digital space. That's really incredible.
Thank you, Shagaru. I think just to continue the same discussion forward, I think there's a lot of potential in the craft, right? And what we see is that today, what we think is pretty common for us could be considered quite exquisite for consumers across the world. And that's the power of design, and that's the potential in Indian craft. So let me just ask this question also to Sudha. Sudha, having worked with, Kondapalli Toys for a long time, I think you have extensively been involved in this particular cluster. What has been your experience and what has been the learning from it? Do you think we can create very good market for these traditional crafts?
Yes, Shiva. We've been working on a small scale, I must say, in Kondapalli Toy Cluster in partnership with CDAP, that is Society for Employment Generation and Enterprise Development in Andhra Pradesh. And our experience has been quite encouraging, I must say. We have started working on natural dyes in toys to make the craft more eco and child friendly. And also, we have received good response, I must say, from both local and international craft lovers. We have just shipped a small consignment to Singapore. So our focus has been on functional products like table organizers, in addition to the traditional Dasavatarams and Enugu Ambari and all, which of course we have received appreciation with natural dyes. But I must say that in Kondapalli again, as our chairperson Usha Rani Garu said, our focus is on women to upgrade their skills from just painting to now even carving, to ensure better wages and recognition to them as artisans, in order to actually get artisan cards by the government, identity cards, etc. Otherwise, they were not earlier recognized as artisans. They were considered to be doing, pre-processes, before the actual final product. So we are planning to federate them as a collective to sustain beyond the project period. And also we believe that for craft to sustain and to generate more employment, there needs to be more research and long-term engagement, as I've been telling. So that's the reason, we've partnered with NID Ahmedabad, where we have an intern with us working. So we have developed a course curriculum to help them, to help more people to get trained and to be included in the craft, to improve the product range in the cluster. So I believe that the same on the functionality of the products and the use of natural dyes and developing a kind of user-friendly manual and curriculum can be adopted even in clusters like Cherial, as well as with other crafts, Shiva.
Great, Sudha. I think that's a good point about using design, right? To take the craft forward and also bringing in sustainable production methods, using natural dyes and, how we can make these products much more sustainable in terms of production. That's great, Sudha. Thank you.
That's very well said, Sudha. And very inspiring to really hear about it. And my question to you, Shiva Garu, has an organized digital and social media presence made any real difference to the artisans and entrepreneurs in this sector? And and in continuation of that, have the results been satisfying in terms of growth in income and number of artisans, especially youth, returning to the fold?
Yeah, great question, Usha Garu. Thank you for asking. See, what we see is, today, more than any time before, we need to talk more about our craft. So there needs to be more awareness about craft, more awareness about artisans, and more awareness about our, some of these traditions that we have been practicing for a long time. So digital is the, is kind of omnipresent today, right? I mean, we all start our day with digital and probably end our day with digital. I mean, that's probably the sad reality, or whatever, the reality that most of us are aware of. So digital becomes a very powerful channel. And when I say digital, not just e-commerce, right? I mean, digital is much broader than e-commerce, right? Digital means social media, digital means everything where we are able to connect. Like, we are having this webinar through digital technologies, right? Zoom is a video conferencing digital technology. So digital becomes much more important today to take the message, to corners of the world much more effectively than what's possible through physical medium. And that's why, when we started GoCorp in 2012, I mean, our vision was very clear that digital is going to have a disruptive effect on this sector. It's not only going to create market for this sector, but it's going to create identity for the weavers and artisans. Today, I mean, selling a Pochampalli sari is one thing, right? I mean, but selling a Pochampalli sari, which is made by a certain artisan, is something else. Creating that identity and awareness for the artisan is also very important, which is possible through digital. We'll talk about Cherial, but I think, the Cherial painting done by an artist is the artist is very clearly recognized. I think that makes the whole process much more effective. You're actually empowering the artisan through these digital practices. So I would say digital has a profound effect, and we are still in the early stages of this digital revolution. I think, as you know, India's retail is probably less than 5% online right now. So we are in very early stages. In developed countries like US, the retail online is 45%. So even in countries like US. So I think it will take us some time before our online market becomes big and, we all start buying things online. But what has been very interesting is this whole COVID crisis has accelerated this online adoption. Though it has been going at a certain pace, because of COVID, now we are seeing a very strong push towards online, both from consumers as well as from producers. So I would say, the results have been, satisfying, but these are still initial stages. There's a lot of training to be done on how artisans can come online. There's a lot of hand-holding required in how artisans can successfully use digital technologies and social media and create their own market and space for themselves. There are many success stories I can share. Today, I mean, Kotpad is a very a remote cluster in Orissa. It's a very small tribal cluster, for example. And, artisans from there are able to now market their products online through social media and through, digital platforms. People who just don't have access to market today are able to come online and successfully are able to sell products through these different digital initiatives. So there are quite a few such good examples that we can share. And what is also important is, because of digital, the next generation is becoming more interested in craft. So if you see many clusters, artisan clusters, the younger generation are the ones who are coming in and becoming digital entrepreneurs. So if you look at Maheshwar, for example, or even for that matter, we work with quite a few artisans in Madhya Pradesh, both Maheshwar and Chanderi. You'll find many artisans who are under 30 years of age. So the next generation is actually interested in coming forward and, and exploiting and exploring the digital opportunity.
Yeah, that's really great, encouraging. And it is so good to know that enterprises such as yours and Sudharani's are leaving no stone unturned in supporting artisans and weavers. Shivagaru.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. I think there's a long way to go. I mean, there's a lot of work to do. Yeah. But, I think we're all getting, I would say, first time we're all coming together also as a community. This COVID crisis has brought all of us together. And I do see there's a lot of work to be done. But Sudha, what is your take? I mean, what do you think needs to be done? How is the handloom and handicraft sector shaping up, especially in the current scenario?
Thank you, Shiva. I certainly see a bright future for Indian handicrafts, as craft sector will be a key means of livelihood to India's rural population, as we know. And with more than 3,000 crafts and counting, India is definitely sitting on the untapped gold mine, as Priya Garu just mentioned. So with the right kind of support and conducive business environment, it has a lot of scope to become very important and big business sense in that case. And as we know, like all of us have heard that, you know, people are hungry for cultural symbols all the time, as shared by Fab India's William Bissell in an interview in 2016, which I always refer to. So the demand for global handmade products, be it handlooms or handicrafts, will continue, will increase as consumers across US and many other countries, as you just mentioned about a consumer, I mean the customer from Ontario, are seeking handmade, ethically sourced products that are sustainable and are different from the mass-produced products. So with that growing consciousness and increased consumerism, I think craft sector, as Ashok Chatterjee always says, it straight meets 11 out of the 17 UN's Sustainability Development Goals. Yeah, so there is a great story there for the Gen Y and the millennials, which you have just mentioned about, Shiva. So they will adopt very quickly to the craft way of life. I'm confident about that. And also with our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's push for promoting this Vocal for Local, and Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, and producing indigenous toys. They've had the meeting just a couple of days back. I see definitely bright days ahead for handicraft sector. But however, the focus has to be more on value creation using entrepreneurship and growth-oriented associations like the ones that you just mentioned. So as we've been discussing this afternoon, a very balanced approach is needed, you know, that which values and nurtures the craft, I mean the intrinsic value of craft, and also opens out a lot of product designs and new product lines, you know, for the upcoming markets, for the newer markets in India and abroad. So I certainly see a bright future. Thank you, Shiva.
Great, Sudha. So Sudha, I think this is more a personal question to you. So you are a very inspiring entrepreneur. I think you're like a good role model for people who want to pursue social entrepreneurship. So what is your advice to them, you know, if they want to start in this sector?
Oh, thank you for those kind words. You know, as I've just mentioned, you know, valuing the intrinsic value of craft and truly believing in it. And I think it's your passion and, you know, it's your ownership of the craft and your ability to travel and empathize with the craftisans and handloom weavers is what makes you or sets you apart from other commercial enterprises. So I think with that social bent of mind, which is there thanks to my development work, I have worked in rural development. So that has become my main profession now. So it's a passion and your love for craft, and also believing that, you know, craft has a lot of value and it is very unique. You know, there's so much to offer, and charity and things like that will definitely help. You know, you should value it in true sense and believe in it. And as we've been talking about, that, you know, it is something that it's very futuristic, you know, for the younger generation to adopt. So I think, you know, believing in that and adopting that conscious living will actually take craft and social entrepreneur to a different level, Shiva.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Sudha. I mean, those are really good points for the sector and also for aspiring social entrepreneurs. And this is a tough journey. I just want to add that this is not at all an easy journey. So I think, you know, it's a tough journey which requires a lot of forbearance and, you know, a lot of grit and determination. I mean, to take to take this journey for, let's say, a decade or more. And you're a great example, Sudha. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
Thank you.
Shiva Garu, as you rightly said, it looks very, I mean, it looks very interesting and looks very doable kind of thing. But I mean, if you take it as a business or if you take it as an enterprise, it is not that easy to, I mean, do these kind of things. And really hats off to both of you. When you both are doing a great job.
Thank you so
And
much.
Thank you so much.
and my last question to you, Shivagaru, what guidance or support is required both from the government and the private sector for talented artisan entrepreneurs to be more successful going forward?
Yeah. So this has been an area of a lot of deliberation, I would say, and this is an area where I think a lot of thought has to be put into also going forward. I think the most important thing, Ushagaru, is that we need to build this handmade in India brand, right? Today, Germany is known for its machine tools, its manufacturing. Italy is known for its fashion, its lifestyle products. France is known for its wine, and cheese. But I think we have not been able to create such strong brands from India, right? I think we need, and the biggest brand that we can actually create from India is handmade in India. So I think that's the biggest focus, and this has been the push. Even when we had this consultation with the Honorable Prime Minister in 2017, one of the biggest recommendations we gave as champions of change is we should strongly brand handmade in India. So that's something which I think can trickle down to even state governments, where each state can strongly brand their own craft. Telangana has very strong craft traditions, Ikkat, we have Narayanpet, we have Gadwal, we have Cheriyal craft. We have so many craft traditions which are quite popular and well known across the world. So I think there is a concerted effort required both by central and state government to brand our products, and that will really create a very large sustainable market for these products, because people have to understand the value. It's not about buying an Ikkat sari, but you're buying a piece of art. You're buying a crafting tradition, right? It's a sari, but it's actually woven with a lot of skill, not made in a machine, which is producing 10,000 or, whatever number of saris every day. So that understanding and awareness and branding of craft is essential. The second thing is, I think, there's a lot of, I feel, support required for craft entrepreneurs. And yes. I'm not talking about entrepreneurs like me and Sudha, but I'm talking about actually craftsmen or weavers who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs, right? Like I think Sai Kiran is a good example. So, when they want to become entrepreneurs, I think the kind of support required, let it be in terms of working capital, let it be in terms of, facilitating know-how, giving them the required training. All these things have to be done in a fairly, I would say, organized manner at different clusters to really make it happen. Because today we see many initiatives, both public and private, to promote entrepreneurship at the cluster level. But my suggestion would be that entrepreneurship has to be promoted with a market linkage in mind. If you don't have a market, if you're not able to connect them with market, then the entrepreneur anyway will not be successful. So the market is the final goal, right? If we have to connect to the market for the craft to survive and also for the entrepreneur to be successful. So all these models have to be developed with market linkage in mind, and good private-public partnership should emerge. FICCI is doing a wonderful job. I must say, FICCI is one of those communities which are very active, socially active, as well as which are really promoting entrepreneurship in this country. So there's a lot of work which can be done through good private-public collaboration with bodies like FICCI.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Handlooms and handicrafts are where even individuals can make a significant difference. And Make in India has been a game changer. Let's hope good days are ahead for Indian artisans and weavers, Shivagaru.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah. I think, what I want to just sum it up is that as Honorable Chairperson Ushagaru has said, India has one of the largest craft traditions in the world. It has the largest number of artisan population in the world. This is a great asset that this country has. And, we have a good potential to take this forward. not only create large sustainable businesses around craft, but also to create livelihood for millions of people. Today, I mean, especially in this COVID scenario where livelihood, both life and livelihoods have become important. It's not just about life, but what will happen after life, right? We are able to sustain life, but then if there is no livelihood, then what do we do with that, right? So both life and livelihood are important in the current scenario. And craft can provide an excellent form of employment generation, livelihood generation for people in the rural parts of the country. Craft is also potentially a soft power. It is cultural. It can create a brand. It can take us global. It's like yoga, where it's something that we should exercise sooner than later on at a global stage. So craft gives us that opportunity once again. And very importantly, I think it's important to take craft forward from a modern contemporary standpoint. As Sudha mentioned, looking at design interventions, looking at sustainable production practices into craft are very important to take the sector forward, along with social entrepreneurship, because finally entrepreneurs are like the gardener, right? I mean, the tree can grow, but entrepreneurs are, obviously everybody's trying to build a business, right? So there's nothing wrong in building a business, but social entrepreneurs are actually like gardeners who are cultivating this, right? And it's very important to support these social entrepreneurs and strengthen them up and build them up so that the whole sector can be benefited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's a quick summary I can think of based on the conversation we had just now. Back to you, Priya.
Thank you so much. I will hand it back over to Usha. She has a big job today.
Okay.
We are very happy to be launching
Yes.
a brand, and Usha will do the honors.
That was indeed a much needed conversation, especially on this platform. What interests us particularly, as I mentioned before, is the women employability factor, and we are determined to do our bit for it. We have been joined by Dharitri Patnaik, Chairperson Flow Bhuvaneshwar, and Head of National Flow Cell for Village Adoption Program. Welcome, Dharitri. Can you give spotlight on Dharitri, please?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Usha. Very interesting discussion.
Welcome, Dharitri.
Hi, Dharitri.
Yeah. FICCI Ladies Organization, as you know, is primarily a place for the growth and empowerment of women in all fields at all levels. Our social outreach programs in particular have made a visible difference to the livelihood generation capabilities of the grassroots women across all the sectors. Year 2020-21 is a watershed year in several ways, and the loss of life and livelihood are irreparable. Rising to this occasion, Flow has launched its countrywide village adoption program, whereby the organization will work towards rekindling the social and economic life of the village. At Flow Hyderabad, we have stepped forward to adopt the surrounding villages of Cheriyal, best known for the eponymous art form that flourished there since the 16th century AD. In collaboration with the Department of Tourism, Government of Telangana, we intend to create an experiential tourism circuit where Cheriyal as the focus. While working towards this, we realized that we could also learn our organizational skills to the local artisan community in Cheriyal. We have been in talks with them over the last 3 months and have guided them in terms of creating a more lifestyle-oriented product range, keeping long-term sustainability in view. Since no amount of revival will make sense without establishing a marketing channel, the team at Flow Hyderabad has helped develop a brand and marketing material as well as tie-ups with the respected e-commerce platforms. Our endeavor will be to ensure that more traditional artisans come back to the fold through our sustained efforts to create better market linkages and assistance in product innovation. Tirumani, the brand of Cheriyal Nakashi Chitrakala, is our small offering to the artisan community of Cheriyal. May we have the logo launch video, please? Behind Tirumani, there are so many heads and hearts. I invite our EC member, Monica Bandula, who is heading this initiative, to tell us briefly about how Flow is contributing to product innovation and market creation for Tirumani. Over to you, Monica.
Thank you, Usha. Good evening to all out here. It's been working on this project. In fact, creation of something new is almost like childbirth, and Tirumani is the newborn today. Someone said if we are to preserve our culture, we need to continue to create. Creation and innovation are inseparable twins. And to me, innovation is an opportunity, as it was for Tirumani. Tirumani has been the story of 4 C's. The 4 C's here have been the Cheriyal art, the creation, the connect, and the capture. Over generation, lifestyles have changed. Theatre and television replaced the traditional storytellers who actually were the users of the scroll paintings of the Cheriyal art. Now we have the digital media, which seems to have surpassed the TV. So this kind of a change is an endless process and will always go on. But what is important at this point of time is to be in the flow. And for crafts to be in the flow at this point of time means utilitarian and functional elements need to be added to the craft. For us at Tirumani, the only important part was to not let the craft be just a beautiful piece, but to add some utility and some functionality so that it creates a good lifestyle product which is used by everybody. So we started working on product development where we brought in functional elements. We got in new contemporary color schemes to the traditional craft, and we have been very careful in not trying to dilate the actual technique, the motifs, or anything that is traditional out there. Even the story form is the same as used in their traditional form. So that is how the products at Tirumani have been worked on. The product range now has a lot of lifestyle products, like I said, in terms of trays, posters, the smaller things which are good for gifting and for personal use. Apart from design development, the other thing that we as a team tried to take up was to connect our artisans to the vendors for their raw material so that they can source all this at a better price. And also, we have been working on back-end organizational skills which would help them take their sales forward and help them in an absolute smooth flow of work and execution of all their orders. The entire team has worked towards this, and I'm very thankful to my team which has been working on this. Today, we are all ready to capture the attention and all. That's the 4th C and the last one. Our journey has just begun. No journey is complete without another C, which I would say are the companions. And you all who are present out here today are our companions, and we hope that you take us to our final destination. Your support would be the most needed henceforth for us to complete this journey and reach our destination. Thank you for being a part of our initiative today. And I also thank Usha and everybody else at Flow for having taken up this initiative. And special thanks to Sai Kiran, the young 4th generational artisan who came forward and really worked hard with us at all times. We have worked in the morning, we have worked at night, we have worked at all orders, against all odds, and just tried to create the best that we have come out with. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. I'll now ask Priya Gasdar, Honorary Secretary and team member in this initiative, to talk about why a brand for Cheerial and how it will help in long-term sustainability. Over to you.
Thank you, Usha. First of all, congratulations, Monica. She has been the brainchild behind this initiative. And I feel really fortunate and honored to be on this team and try and make some kind of a palpable difference. So being on this team so far has taught us how much can be done, how much more also can be done. So what we observed that when we started was that while both government and non-governmental organizations have been extending their support to Cheerial artisans in recent times, no concrete effort seems to have been made to organize them into a brand. The USP is already there. Their art is so unique. The IP is being created non-stop. They are even innovating in terms of product line and materials. So our effort now is to create a new market linkages for them in order to make Cheerial a sustainable livelihood generator. But this would be pretty much futile without professionalizing their approach to marketing. And branding is the very first step in this direction. The name itself, Tirumani, it is derived from the gum that is used as a binding material in Cheerial art. We made sure that the look of the logo is consistent with their traditional colors and their traditional motifs. The idea is to create an instant visual and cerebral association in the consumer's minds. So all the marketing communication, offline or online or elsewhere, will carry a consistent brand look and story. Over time, we hope to not only build a robust brand that is recognized nationally and internationally, but also succeed in our organizational goal, to say specifically Flow's goal of empowering women by inspiring more ladies to pick up the bamboo brush again and become self-reliant. So thank you so much. This is where we are, and we do hope to weave some amount of magic with Tirumani going forward.
Thank you, Priya. Now I request Dharitri to launch the catalog we have created for Tirumani and speak few words.
Thank you, Usha, and good evening and namaskar everyone in Hyderabad and whoever's logged in, to my Flow Hyderabad friends. I'm honored, Usha, for having invited me. A great fan of handlooms and handicrafts, being born in the state of Orissa. So that's what we've always seen, heard, feel, and use all our lives. I'm a great fan of your state and the handicrafts and the handlooms. Can't do without a Pochampally or a Narayanpet for that matter. It's such a great initiative, we all, lot of people, and it has both ways. I've been hearing the speakers, Siva Garu and Sudha Garu, talking about discussing their initiatives and entrepreneurship. And we've got this two very interesting dimensions. One is the source. For generations and for centuries who've been working on it, who've been the artisans, their lives and livelihoods have depended on it. And the other one is the users, consumers, most of us who've benefited from it for centuries. And what you are just launching is like restoring or reviving someone's not only livelihood, but our tradition, our history, our culture. I was reading about the Cheerial scroll painting, and that's how storytelling used to be done in ancient times. And such a beautiful way of, telling stories, which most of us, our generations, or even our children have just lost that way of, everything is digitized. And when we go back to that kind of, the way it was told in Cheerial scrolling about the Puranas or Mahabharatas, so beautiful. And I think I read somewhere that it was prevalent throughout Telangana and Andhra, but now it's restricted, sadly restricted to few artisans. So I think congratulations to all of you working in this sector, and especially Flow Hyderabad for reviving. I mean, you've done a great job in trying to revive a dying art in many ways. And for Flow's national initiative for Village Adoption Program, which is our National President Jahnavi Phukon's dream initiative. It's to do this. It's to restore and revive our handicrafts, handlooms, and ensure we have sustainable livelihoods for people who are dependent on it. And primary objective of our Village Adoption Program is to ensure that we eradicate poverty, to conserve our precious nature and environment, to do away with gender inequalities, and what way than to give them the economic freedom, encourage more women artisans, like I think Sudha was talking about, encourage more women to weave and be counted as productive participants in the workforce. So these are some of the primary focus of our work, and I think Usha and team, you've woven it very well. The way it's not about adopting the villages that are dependent on this art form, but also ensuring that it becomes a tourism circuit as well, for people to not only come and immerse themselves and understand about the art and culture of that local area, the genre, and also the how it's closely linked with handicrafts revival and restoration and promotion. So I think you must be the first flow chapter in India to have got all the three elements together: the Village Adoption Program, the tourism circuit, as well as the handicrafts work. And I congratulate you, your team, for this beautiful work. And the logo is beautiful and the name is beautiful. I think the branding is very well done. The gurus are here from Gokop and Sudha, so they will give you the thumbs up for it. While all I can say, it's beautifully done, and I'm sure the artisans of Cherial will benefit. More and more younger generation who've dropped out from painting will get back, will get inspired. I think by branding a product or an art form, we also kind of give it we get it to a different platform. We kind of give it more dignity. So a lot of people, a lot of the new generation would want to, even if they're not from the artisan community, would want to start learning about the Cherial painting and the art form and take it forward. And I do look forward to having few of those products soon. So, and I'm honored to have been invited to the launch ceremony. Thank you so much, Usha and team. Thank you.
Gayatri, request you to ask the IT team to launch the catalog.
Sorry. IT team, can you please launch the catalog? And here I present you the catalog.
Thank you, Gayatri. Over to Shiva Devi Reddy and Sai Kiran to lead us through the Cherial story.
Great. Thanks again, and hearty congratulations to the Ficky Flow Hyderabad team. I think this is one of the most impressive brand I've seen for crafts in the recent times. So great job, Monica. I think this is the catalog and the brand, I think, is just is exceptionally good. So it's a pleasure to welcome Sai Kiran to the show. Sai Kiran Garu, you're there. Can you see us? Can you hear us?
Yes. Yeah. Namaste. and good afternoon, one and all, those who present here.
Great. So it's a pleasure, Sai Kiran, to talk to you. Someone who's I think is my next generation.
Yeah.
So I think it will be good also to get the slides up. If IT can actually bring the slide presentation up. So while they bring it up, Sai, can you tell us about the Cherial craft? What is the history? What has been the background of this craft?
Yeah. First thing, I'll tell you what is about Cherial and how the name has come, Cherial scroll painting. Okay, the Cherial is a village in Telangana. It is in Siddipet district. It is like 90 kilometers from Hyderabad, and the name Cherial has come in 1978. So, but these artists since from 400 years, but we got an identity in 1978 from our state government. So after getting identity, we artists are living in Cherial. So like from the village itself, the name has come Cherial scroll painting. What is
Okay.
scroll again? Scroll means storytellers. So now in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we have many communities, right? For every community, there is one particular story. Like in screen storytellers are telling a story that is Mahabharatam. Okay.
Yeah.
So like that 10 different storytelling communities are there, 10 different story listening communities are there, 10 different stories are there. For example, toddy toppers are Gauts. They belongs to Gauts community, and Gonda Shetty is a storytelling community, and the story name is Gauda Puranam. Okay, Gauda Puranam is a story, and storytellers are Gonda Shetty, and story listeners are Gauts. So like this, 10 different story communities, 10 different story listening communities, and 10 stories are there.
Very interesting.
All these are before coming these cinemas and all, like 100 years, 70, 80 years back. Now after coming cinemas and all, see, if we take a Gauda Puranam, entire Gauda Puranam, the storyteller, he'll take 15 to 20 days to complete. See, they give music in the background. They for every character they give very brief explanation. So for one character they'll explain around 40 to 50 minutes, like that. So to complete the entire scroll, they'll take 15 to 20 days. The storytellers. Now the same Gauda Puranam, if you watch a movie, you can watch that in 2.5 3 hours, right? So like that, what happened? No, everybody, see, the Gaud communities, everybody is watching Gauda Puranam in the TVs. Nobody is going and listening from the storyteller. So what the storytellers, they all are migrated to other works. There is no work for the artist. So if all the storytellers are migrated, there won't be work for the artist, right? If the storytellers will work, then only there will be work for the artist. So all the storytellers are migrated, all the artists are also migrated. Only my great grandfather was left in 1970s.
Okay. Okay.
So
Sai Kiran,
his
I
name
think,
is Venkatramaya. Yeah.
yeah, I think just before that, I just one question I had was scroll painting is part of many cultures, right? I mean, in India, if you see, I think there are many states which have scroll painting as part of their culture. Maharashtra has something unique. Goa has something unique. What is so unique about the Cherial craft or Cherial art, Telangana's Cherial art?
Yeah. See, that's what in Cherial, everything will be about Puranas and mythology stories.
Right.
So as I told you, Gauda Puranam, that is for Gauds. Gonda Shettis will tell the stories. Like that, for every community there is one story. This is only for community people, only the entertainment for the community people, and to know their history. So if you go to Rajasthan, they have their own story, and they have their own culture. Same like that in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, this is about the community stories.
Okay, got it, Sai. సో ఇప్పుడు కరెంట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఎట్లా ఉంది సార్? అంటే ఇప్పుడు వాట్ ఈస్ ద కరెంట్ సినారియో, హౌ మెనీ ఆర్టిజాన్స్ ఆర్ దేర్? అంటే మన నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్, అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీలాంటి ఇప్పుడు మీ జనరేషన్ ఇందులోకి రావాలంటే వాట్ ఈస్ ద కరెంట్ సిచ్యువేషన్? కెన్ యూ ఆల్సో బ్రింగ్ అప్ ద స్లైడ్ ప్లీజ్, స్లైడ్ నెంబర్ 2. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Go ahead, Sai. Yeah, చెప్పండి.
Actually, my great grandfather Venkatramaya, he was only left in 1970s. Only he was there. Even my grandfather also, he didn't learn this serial painting because there is no work for the artist. So in 1978, we got an identity from the government. Then my grandfather entered into this and he learned this art form, and he was working on this, and he got state award, national merit, and then we got more support from the government and some other organizations. Then my father learned from my grandfather. Then my mother Padma, she also learned this art form after her marriage, and my father brothers, they also learned this and they are continuing this. And when I am in school days, and my brother Shravan Kumar, when we are in schooling, my parents, they didn't support us to continue this art form because they don't know how to promote this art form, how to take forward. So we, younger generation, we took as a challenge, and we studied according to the, see, I had studied Bachelor of Fine Arts, so I convinced my parents, and I told them this will be the future, and I convinced them, and convince చేసి నేను BFA చదువుకొని నేను వాళ్ళకి ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఎలా ఉంది అనేది నేను వాళ్ళకి చూపిస్తున్నాను.
వెరీ గుడ్, వెరీ గుడ్, వెరీ ఇన్స్పైరింగ్ సాయి కిరణ్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఎట్లా ఉంది పరిస్థితి? అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు యూ డన్ బ్యాచులర్ ఇన్ ఫైన్ ఆర్ట్స్, యూ కుడ్ హావ్ గాన్ ఇన్ టు గ్రాఫిక్స్, ఆర్ యూ కుడ్ హావ్ గాన్ ఇన్ టు various other professions, but you decided to come back here. So are you happy with your decision? Ante meeku, is it working out well for you?
Yes, definitely it's really working now. Even my parents are also, they are very happy now. Even my brother, he completed his engineering, and now he is working in this. Me and my brother, we thought that if we won't continue this art form, this art form will die with our parents. See, this is 400 years art form will die with our parents. So we don't want to do that. We definitely want to continue this. Whatever we can do, that we are doing, and whatever the support we need, the many organizations are giving us. And FICCI, they approached us, and I should thank FICCI Floor to taking this serial for this year. They are taking serial, and they are promoting this. They are doing a lot of promotions. They are developing the products. I really thank them. So if these kind of organizations won't help, we definitely won't come back. So we need this kind of
Initiative,
help from, initiative. And now definitely we are happy, and we have handful of work.
Very good, very good, very good, Sai. I think ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఇప్పుడు for example,
step in for 1 minute.
Sure, Priya.
This is very short 30 seconds video that we would like to show our viewers. For lots of people it might be a first time to see how storytelling was done at that time. IT team, can we have that very, very brief video?
ఈ భూతి రుద్రాక్ష మాలికాదారుడై అంగలింగ ఆచారమంతుడై సాంబ శివునికి వరకుమారుడై తానైనా జన్మిస్తాడా
So that's how the stories used to be told at that time, when there were no TVs. People were unlettered folk. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
No, that's great, Priya. So yeah, I think that's the starting of the craft, and to what it has evolved now. So Sai, ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఎవల్యూషన్ ఎట్లా జరిగింది, అండ్ మీ ఉద్దేశం ప్రకారం అసలు ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఎవల్యూషన్ ఎలా జరగాలి? Because the craft has been done historically. This is what serial art was, or craft was used for, storytelling. But ఇప్పుడున్న కరెంట్ కాంటెక్స్ట్ లో మనము ఈ క్రాఫ్ట్ ని మనము ఎలా how can we create a market, a more contemporary market for this craft?
సో నేను చదువుకునే డేస్ లో మా ఫ్యాకల్టీ వాళ్ళంతా కూడా నాకు చాలా హెల్ప్ చేశారు. వాళ్ళు చెరియాల్ పెయింటింగ్ ని ఎలా మీరు కంటెంపరీగా చూపెట్టాలి, how to show this serial painting in different colors, in contemporary colors, how to compose this in different way. And moreover, I have seen many other artworks. నేను చాలా వీళ్ళ వేరే ఆర్టిస్ట్ ఉంటారు కదా, గుజరాత్ నుంచి కచ్ వాళ్ళు అండ్ ఇంకా వేరే ఆర్ట్ ఫామ్స్ వాళ్ళని చూసుకుంటూ నేను చాలా నేర్చుకున్నాను. నేను అంటే వాళ్ళు ఎలా ఇన్నోవేటివ్ గా ఎలా ప్రోడక్ట్స్ చేస్తున్నారు, హౌ దే ఆర్ డెవలపింగ్ ఇన్నోవేటివ్ ప్రోడక్ట్స్ విత్ దేర్ ఓన్ మెటీరియల్స్. సో అలా నేను డిఫరెంట్ గా ట్రై చేశాను బై యూజింగ్ సేమ్ మెటీరియల్ వితౌట్ డిస్టర్బింగ్ ద మెటీరియల్స్ and the culture, this serial style. So I have shown with the different same natural colors will be there, but the color combination, the color scheme will be different. Like that I had changed some different motifs and I have shown this in contemporary way.
Excellent. So ఇప్పుడు మనము క్రాఫ్ట్ కి, so for being true to the craft and also contemporizing it, did you face any challenges?
Yes. So చెరియాల్ పెయింటింగ్ and చెరియాల్ మాస్క్ లో we use in చెరియాల్ మాస్క్ we use tamarind seed paste and sawdust. So tamarind seed paste and sawdust, we have to shape with that, like we use a poniki wood as a skeleton form inside, and we have to give a muzzle shape with the mixture of tamarind seed paste and sawdust. So tamarind seed paste and sawdust toni manam shape ichin tarvata, once it dries, that won't be in proper shape, it will shape out, it will get some crack. So in clay whatever the realistic work we do, after drying it will remain same, but here with this material it won't be remain same, it will slightly it will change, like after drying it will shrink and it will get cracked. So those kind of problems I faced a lot in this
process. Yeah, I think that's good, but I think products look excellent, Sai Kiran. So I think it will be good maybe if you can see that short BBC film as well at this point to understand the product evolution.
నేను నా స్కూలింగ్ అయ్యేంత వరకు కూడా నేను ఈ వర్క్ కంటిన్యూ చేస్తానని అనుకోలేదు, ఎందుకంటే అప్పుడు మార్కెట్ అలా ఉండే. దాని తర్వాత మేము కొత్త ఐడియాలు తీసుకొని వచ్చి టిష్యూ బాక్సెస్, పెన్సిల్ స్టాండ్స్, స్పెక్టికల్ హోల్డర్స్, కీ చైన్స్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా చేయడం జరిగింది. ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ చేయడం వల్ల చాలా మందికి నచ్చినాయి. సో ఇప్పుడు మేమందరం, నేనైనా మా తమ్ముడైనా కూడా మేమందరం కూడా ఇప్పుడు యంగర్ జనరేషన్ వల్ల ఇదే ఆర్ట్ చేసుకుంటూ దీన్ని కంటిన్యూ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇంతకుముందు కథలు చెప్పేవాళ్ళు, వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారంటే నెత్తికి ఒక రుమాలు కట్టుకొని ఇట్లా నెత్తికి ఇలా ఇరికించుకుంటారు. ఇట్లా ఇరికించుకొని వాళ్ళు జాతరలలో ఉన్న పబ్లిక్ అందరినీ ఎంటర్టైన్ చేస్తుండే. ఇవే చేసి కొంచెం చిన్నగా చేసి వాల్ డెకరేషన్ కింద చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ చెరియాల్ పెయింటింగ్ అయితే మార్కెట్ చాలా బాగుంది. కొనుక్కునే వాళ్ళు కొనుక్కుంటున్నారు, కొనుక్కోని వాళ్ళు దీన్ని చూసి అది చెరియాల్ పెయింటింగ్ ఒకటి ఉంది కదా అని తెలుసుకుంటున్నారు. ఇప్పుడు అవే ఆన్లైనే కాకుండా గవర్నమెంట్ సపోర్ట్ ఉంది అండ్ చాలా ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ కూడా సపోర్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు మాకు. నేను కంటిన్యూ చేయకపోతే ఇది మా డాడీ వాళ్ళతోనే అంతరించిపోతుంది. 400 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి వస్తున్న కళ అంతరించిపోతుంది. మా గోల్ ఏంటంటే మేమే కాకుండా ఇంకా బయటి వాళ్ళు కూడా చాలామంది ఈ ఆర్ట్ని నేర్చుకోవాలని, ముందుకు తీసుకోవాలని మా కోరిక.
That's amazing. I think everyone should have a piece of cereal craft in their home. I think at least after looking at this, it's very, very beautiful, very well designed, I must say. And yeah, definitely, I think every house should have a piece of cereal craft in their home. So Sai Kiran garu, last question for you. I think very interesting. You are a great example for artisans who want to continue the legacy forward and take it forward in a sustainable manner, and also which is good for you and your family as well, right? I mean, it should make sense for you and your family as well. So what are the challenges, if any, మీకు మార్కెటింగ్ లో కానీ ఈ మార్కెట్ క్రియేట్ చేయడంలో కానీ వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఛాలెంజెస్ ఇఫ్ ఎనీ యు ఆర్ ఫేసింగ్, అండ్ వాట్ డూ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్? అంటే మీరు ఎట్లాంటి సపోర్ట్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు గవర్నమెంట్ నుంచి కానీ, లేకపోతే ఫికీ ఫ్లో నుంచి కానీ? వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ సపోర్ట్ కెన్ బి ప్రొవైడెడ్ టు యూ టు టేక్ దిస్ ఫార్వర్డ్, ఈవెన్ ఫార్వర్డ్, ఐ మీన్ మచ్ మోర్ స్ట్రాంగ్లీ గోయింగ్ ఫార్వర్డ్?
ఇప్పుడు ఈ చెరియల్ పెయింటింగ్ లో there are only 7 families working this serial painting right now. So if there is a big huge order, like we do many government projects, government give government ఏంటంటే చాలా మందికి delegates కి serial paintings present చేస్తుంటది. So within short time, in 10-15 days లో వాళ్ళకి 500-600 products కావాలి అంటారు. So but we can't make in a short time, so we want some manpower, right? Everything is natural materials, and everything we have to make with our hands itself. So there is no machine made. So maku ekwa training schemes alantivi emaina iste definitely we will train them, and we will definitely we take all the orders. So maku entante main thing orders kavali, and at the same time maku see, government gave us many training schemes, but what is happening, product development, new product development also, it's very important.
Yeah.
And inka ee product chesin tarvata dan overkonkovali. Marketing is main important. So manpower, marketing, and new product development, ee 3 maku kavali.
Very good point, Andy. Sai Kiran. Actually, so that actually brings us to, we can sum it up by saying, to take the craft forward, our traditions forward, we need aspiring and, entrepreneurs like Sai Kiran, who are committed to have a lot of conviction to take the craft forward. They're hundreds of years of craft traditions. He is very determined to take it forward. That is the first thing. You need to have entrepreneurs, you need artisans, craftsmen like Sai Kiran to take the craft forward. That's first. I think it's also very important to have product design and development. I think there is a little bit of echo.
Yeah, there's a feedback.
Yeah.
It's better now.
Yeah. So I think we also need to focus on product design and development. And as I said, branding is so important to create good market, right? Finally, we all somehow associate more with brands than, with products, right? Brand plays a very important role in adoption. So brands and product design and development is very important. And thirdly, I think it's very important to create market where, products like this can be placed in every household, not only in Hyderabad, but across the country. Just imagine the amount of livelihoods we can create just for this one craft form. And that's, I think, yeah. Sorry, Sai Kiran.
And my mother.
Yeah, I wanted your అమ్మగారు మీకు ఒకసారి మాట్లాడమని చెప్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను. అంటే ఆమె ఉద్దేశం ఏంటి ఒకసారి విందాం.
Yeah, mummy కూడా, my mother also worked with many organizations, like ladies organizations. She worked with many organizations, and she did many training programs also for women. So మా మదర్ పద్మన్ కూడా నేను మాట్లాడాలని.
యా, డెఫినెట్గా. అమ్మగారు మీరు కూడా చెప్పాల్సింది కొంచెం మీ ఉద్దేశం ఏంటి, దీన్ని ఎట్లా మనం ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్ళవచ్చు? అమ్మ మొట్టమొదట మీకు చాలా కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్ అమ్మా. మీకు సాయి కిరణ్ లాంటి కొడుకున్నాడు. సో కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్ ఆన్ యూ. హీఈస్ అ రాక్ స్టార్ ఆఫ్ తెలంగాణ. చెప్పండి అమ్మా.
అదేనండి. నేను ఈ వర్క్ చేయాలి పెయింటింగ్ నేను నా పెళ్ళైన తర్వాత నేర్చుకున్నానండి. ఇది నేను గత 30 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి చేస్తున్నాను. ఈ మా పెయింటింగ్ చాలా వరకు లేడీసే నేర్చుకుంటున్నారండి. ట్రైనింగ్ స్కీమ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడల్లా అంతా లేడీసే ఇంట్లో వర్క్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఖాళీగా ఉంటారు కదండి. వాళ్ళు వచ్చేవాళ్ళు అనమాట. వాళ్ళకి నేను మా హస్బెండ్ దగ్గర నేర్చుకొని, మా మామయ్య గారి దగ్గర నేర్చుకున్న తర్వాత మా హస్బెండ్ దగ్గర అసిస్టెంట్ లాగా ఉండి ఆ లేడీస్ అందరికి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తుండేదాన్ని అనమాట. అట్లా నాకు పూర్తిగా వర్క్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత నాకు ఒక ట్రైనింగ్ స్కీమ్ వచ్చింది. వచ్చినప్పుడు నేను ఒక 10 మెంబర్స్ లేడీస్ కి ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చాను. వాళ్ళు కూడా తను కంప్లీట్ గా రాకపోయినా బేసిక్ వర్క్స్ అన్ని చేస్తుంటారు అనమాట. అట్లా ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ లాక్డౌన్ వచ్చి కరోనా వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ ఆర్ట్ అన్నది ఎట్లా ముందుకు వెళ్తుందో మాకు అర్థం కావట్లేదు. దీనివల్ల మాకు మార్కెటింగ్ ఏదైనా చూపించి ఏదైనా చేస్తే హెల్ప్ చేస్తే అప్పుడు మేము కంపల్సరీ ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్తాం.
డెఫినెట్ గా అమ్మా, ఐ థింక్ దట్ ఈస్ అ గుడ్ సజెషన్. ఇప్పుడు మార్కెటింగ్ మీద చాలా ఫోకస్ పెట్టొచ్చు, ఎందుకంటే ప్రోడక్ట్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అయిపోయింది, మంచి స్కిల్స్ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి ఐ థింక్ దట్స్ అ గుడ్ suggestion to Fiki Flow as well, and for all the organizations. How can we create very good market? మనం ఒక మంచి మార్కెట్ ఈ క్రాఫ్ట్ కి క్రియేట్ చేయగలిగితే చాలా మందికి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. ఆర్టిస్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేయవచ్చు మనం. థ్యాంక్ యూ పద్మ గారు. So that is a good way to sum it up. Finally, it is the market, and and I'm sure Fiki can play a very important role in creating a good market for these products. That's all from my side. Thanks, Sai Kiran. Thanks, Padma Garu. And back to you, Priya and Usha.
Thank you, Shivdev Reddy Garu and Sai Kiran. Thank you so much. And thank you, Padma Garu. చాలా బాగా మాట్లాడారు అండ్ మీరు చాలా మంచి ఆర్ట్ ని నేర్చుకున్నారు అండ్ చాలా మందికి నేర్పిస్తున్నారు. అది చాలా అంటే సమాజానికి చాలా మంచి చేస్తున్నారు మీరు. And it looks like we are going in the right direction. That Sai Kiran and entrepreneur is available. Very interested, enthusiastic entrepreneur is available, and nice products have been designed. Of course, they have products, but contemporary designs have been created by Fiki Flow, and we have created a brand. And now I just want to conclude this conversation that actually this was truly an eye-opener and a wake-up call for all of us. The time is now to raise our hands to do something before we lose more of our art forms to the pages of history. It brings me great pleasure to announce that WeaveSmart, a highly respected and award-winning e-commerce marketplace, has come forward to place Thirumani on their platform. Can we have the link, please? My grateful thanks to Nishita Manne, CEO of WeaveSmart, to so readily agreeing to kickstart our marketing efforts for Thirumani. Now I request Nishita Manne to speak few words.
Thank you, Usha. Shiva Garu and Sudha Garu have given a comprehensive insight into the handloom sector. And Sai Kiran, what an inspiring journey, amazing, and we are very proud of you. And I would like to thank for giving WeaveSmart an opportunity for facilitating and promoting Cherial craft on our platform. To give a brief introduction, WeaveSmart is not just for profit enterprise, dedicated for the promotion of handlooms. We started 5 years back, and we are slightly successful. I can say we are slightly successful eliminating middlemen and bridging the gap between the consumers and artisans. It's been an incredible 5-year journey for us. And India has the largest concentration of craft in the world, but yet it has only 2% of share in the global craft economy. It is both a huge opportunity and hope for the development of the craft both in India and the world. So changing consumption patterns by people like you and I can make a difference. It can create an impact on the environment, livelihood, and economic sustainability of craft sector. And more importantly, it gives an encouragement to the younger generation to continue the craft. We are very fortunate to have our own very art forms, Nirmal and Cheriyal in Telangana. They depict the cultural backdrop of Telangana beautifully. Made from eco-friendly materials of tamarind seed paste and sawdust in vibrant colors, Cheriyal products bring life to any living room. Thanks to you, Sai Kiran and family, for creating such beautiful products. So let's all do our bit by promoting, protecting, and preserving our local crafts. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishita.
Nishita, that was wonderful, but we never saw you. You were on video off. We didn't want to interrupt you. So can you...
sorry.
We would all like to see you. Spotlight on Nishita, please. IT team.
I thought she wanted to.
Incognito for some reason, Nishita.
Okay, so I don't know. Something is not working here.
All right. Okay.
Okay. With concerted and consistent efforts, we foresee a great future for our flow-assisted entrepreneurs. Back to Priya for the question and answer session. And thank you so much.
Surprisingly, we don't have too many questions, but there's Nishita.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Nishita. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for so quickly coming on board with us for Tirumani.
My pleasure.
I'm sure we'll work wonders together, Flow and Weave Smart.
Looking forward.
Thank you so much. Yes. And yes, like I was saying, surprisingly, not too many questions. We do have one question from Sunaina Suneja, who said, where can we get the training that both Shiva Reddy and Shiva Devi Reddy Garu and Sudharani were both mentioning during their talk? Any one of you can step up and answer that.
I think training, is it specific to entrepreneurship, Priya? I mean, the question, or is it training for?
I think it is entrepreneurship.
Okay. Yeah. So I think obviously entrepreneurship is something I think mostly people learn through experience. I mean, there's a pretty different, there are many different ways of learning entrepreneurship. But I think, yeah, now we are having also many established accelerators and entrepreneurship development programs across the country. So one of them, I think, obviously, that I'm quite familiar with is Craft Catapult. It's an entrepreneurship development program started by IIM Ahmedabad in collaboration with Startup Oasis Rajasthan. So they do an annual cohort of craft entrepreneurs, and that's a very, very good program, I think, which is I think it's in its third cohort right now as we speak. Similarly, I think a lot of management schools have entrepreneurship development programs. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the programs in IIM Bangalore, which is done by NSR Cell. So similarly, startup accelerators like T-Hub, IIT, IIIT Hyderabad. So they have, again, entrepreneurship development programs, but which are more technology centric, not really very specific to craft as such. So yeah, there are various ways of learning entrepreneurship, but I think, yeah, these are some of the ones that I can think of right now.
So in particular to craft, there's not much happening just now?
So Craft Catapult is a very unique entrepreneurship development program from IIM Ahmedabad and Startup Oasis. IICD again has which is in Rajasthan, again, focused program for entrepreneurs who are coming from the craft community. So these are actually like artisans like Sai Kiran who go through IICD program, which helps them in becoming more technology savvy, design, product development skills, and also how to market the products going forward. Sudha, you want to add something?
There's nothing, just one small addition to what Shiva has said. Nothing like actually living with the artisan or, shadowing the artisan if you want to understand the craft perspective. But other training programs, as Shiva mentioned, even Goldman Sachs of ISB, and other management institutions, and even MSM in NIMSME also has a lot of entrepreneurship programs. We keep going to actually, as a guest faculty and all. So NIMSME has a lot of small entrepreneurship. I mean, for the starters, there are a lot of programs there, but nothing like living with the artisan and shadowing them.
That sounds mysterious. I'm sure it's very effective.
Yeah.
We have a question from Venila, who all of us know is a blogger, influencer, and lover of Indian handlooms and handicrafts. Venila, you have a question?
Good evening, all of you. And many congratulations to Monica, Usha Garu, and Priya and team. And very proud of Fiki Flow, Hyderabad. So you said it all. So I'm going to ask the question about influencer, because I also have done some design intervention program, especially in Narayanpet, along with Sudha, for a UNDP project. The reason I'm bringing this up is, on one hand, we have all the marketing channels, we have people doing various product range and everything, but you need people, you need influences, you need someone who believes in the craft to influence or inspire. So my question is either to Sudha or Shiva. I mean, would you agree with this? And how do you think this will enable craft? How do influence enable craft to move forward? Thank you. Thanks, Priya.
Okay.
Sudha, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I have just one-liner again. Craft influencers play a major role. If you see Insta, the minute somebody wears today, like for example, Usha Rani Garu wore that pendant, and I'm so inspired to buy it immediately. Maybe from Weave Smart in my, next 1 hour I would like to buy. So somebody like Usha Garu wearing it, it says it all. So the role of influencers, as Veni said, is extremely important, and especially role models. It's not just I think film actors and other celebrities wearing is one thing, but now I think people are looking to real role models, like the chairperson here and amongst many others, to actually wear and emulate them. So extremely important. Veni, thanks for bringing this. This is the next Gen Y and millennials are looking for walk the talk, influencers, and I'm very happy about it, and it has a great role, and especially in adopting craft, Cherial like crafts. Thank you.
Thank
Shiva,
you.
Yeah, I just want to add there that, a couple of interesting stories. One is when we launched APCO on GoCoop in 2013, when the Chief Secretary launched it. At that time, I think we just had a small discussion with the press, and we said, NTR ANR Dautulu will be available now online. And that was the headline of the story. NTR ANR Dautulu will be available online. And we just sold out all the NTR and ANR Dautulu, which are actually from Srikakulam, right? The big border, Konduru Dautulu, right? So I think that's the power of influencers, right? I mean, so, some of the, that's the star power of, influencers. But I think as Sudha also said, now influencers doesn't not mean that they have to be stars, right? So we have a customer called Mrudula Dang, who bought 22 sarees for her daughter for her wedding through our platform, and her daughter Hina Dang is a Miss India. So I think again that was considered to be quite a big thing, but I think honestly I think today empowered women who are breaking new paths, who are creating their own own identity. For example, somebody like Veni, I think can be a very strong influencer for craft. I mean, and different craft forms, and making it more fashionable. because most of us look at craft as something very traditional. To make it more fashionable, to make it more modern and contemporary, I think influencers play a very, very important role.
Thanks, Shiva, being very kind. Thank you. I leave it to Priya. Over to Priya.
Priya, I would like to add a small thing here. I mean, I want to talk. I want to give the story behind this one. Actually, at Flow, every year, I mean, once the chairperson takes over at the change of guard, and as a tradition, we give badges to our committee members. So I wanted to give that badge. I mean, with the Cherial painting. Actually, this is backside. I wanted to give their name and designation. And once the term is over, I thought this can be used as a pendant. So that's what I mean is the thought. And Monica is the designer for this, and supported by Priya and done by Sai Kiran. This is actually, we thought we will give it to our committee members, but I mean, the COVID situation did not allow us to do the change of guard ceremony on the ground. So, I mean, otherwise I would have given to all my committee members this one. So I thought at least I need to wear this today. And I mean, this is promoting Cherial art is there in my mind since I have been selected as a senior vice chairperson. So this project is there for more than a year's project. And now it has taken a shape.
Happy to know this.
You're a great brand ambassador, Usha Garu.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Priya, please.
Yes. So now quickly, we will segue into our vote of thanks from our Senior Vice Chairperson, Umachi Gurupati.
A very good evening. Andarki Namaskaram. It's such an inspirational and eye-opening and very useful session. Handicrafts and handlooms represent our culture and traditions. They promote the heritage of a country through the use of indigenous materials and preserve the traditional knowledge and talents. In fact, our country has a history of its known handicraft with more than 4,000 years. That's called Dokra art, and it is still surviving. Just now, everyone, Sai Kiran explained about the Cherial art, which goes back to 16th century. Actually, some claim that it is from 5th century onwards. As explained, rich in local motifs, known for their pictorial presentation of scenes, and used to communicate short stories about Puranas and epics, dictated by local customs and traditions. It is our responsibility to protect and promote these valuable and heritage art forms. Entrepreneurial involvement and help is very much required to create a market for these products and provide livelihood to the craft persons. We have to recognize their efforts and support them in whatever way we can. Shiva Garu, really appreciate your effort in providing a great platform through GoCop to so many artisans. Thank you for joining and participating in the discussion today. Thanks once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all the work you are doing to promote handicrafts and handlooms through Abhihara. And also, thank you so much for sharing so much information in this subject. Dhanalakota Sai Kiran Garu, the master craftsman, thank you so much. It is because of the sustained efforts of people and families like yours, these kind of arts are still alive. చాలా థ్యాంక్స్ అండి. ఈరోజు మీరు వచ్చి మాకు కనిపించి 3 తరాల నుంచి ఈ ఆర్ట్ ఎట్లా కొనసాగుతుందో మాకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసినందుకు చాలా థ్యాంక్స్ అండి. మీరు అడిగింది, మీరు ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేసింది చాలా నిజం. వీటన్నిటికీ మార్కెటింగ్, సేల్స్ ఎట్లా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, లైవ్లీహుడ్ ఎలా ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. అప్పుడే ఇలాంటి ఆర్ట్ బతుకుంటుంది. డెఫినెట్లీ ఫిక్కీ ఫ్లో తరఫున వాట్ ఎవర్ వీ కెన్ డూ చేస్తామని ప్రామిస్ చేస్తాను. Dynamic Dharitri, Chairperson of Flow, Bhubaneswar, thank you so much for joining us and launching the catalog. Your presence is very encouraging to take forward the good work. Very nice of you for joining. I thank the gold sponsors, Polman Group and RBC Worldwide, our branding partners. I thank our past chairs and all the fellow Flow members and viewers who joined us today. Appreciate the silent yet hard-working committee members and IT team for all the support in bringing out this beautiful program. Like to say few words about handmade articles. Just remember, handmade is made with love. Handmade is made with care. Handmade is made just for you. So let us buy, appreciate, and support the handmade articles. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, Ma. That was like icing on the cake. And we'll quickly move to our closing slides. IT team, can we have that? Thank you. On behalf of Chairperson Usha Rani Manne and her entire committee, thank you all once again for joining us today. See you all here on Friday to hear Vinita Bali on the matter of resonant leadership. Until then, have a fruitful and safe time. Namaste.